You can't ultimate all the way down there without first giving a little tell.
And certainly expecting both Meteos and Santorin to be pretty active given the jungle matchup here. And as you mentioned, Meteos has had an excellent split that's continuing a very healthy and successful career so far for someone that has changed teams countless times at this point, given how iconic he was when he first joined the LCS. Still going and still good, as it turns out.
Yep, and still an insane KDA.
That's true.
I haven't checked back in on it.
All right, so on a trademark pick here on the Olaf here. We'll see how Santorin does on the ever popular Lee Sin. Looks like everyone's just spreading out across the river though. So seen a lot of stacks for invades, at least for some vision. Seen a lot of sweepers also in the back half of today's games and in general from the junglers, but it's 10 trinket wards this time around.
Aha, but you speak soon, pastry time. This is the trick that I really like. You go out with your ward, you place your ward, go back, get your sweeper for your first gank back. This is what Meteos is doing right now. You see that ward on the mini-map. He placed it right there. Boom! Don't even need to zoom in. And that is going to give a little bit of defensive vision for himself. And he's going to try and power clear a little bit through. The cooldown on his sweeper will be ready by the time he looks for a gank.
Well, it looks like a Raptor start here for Meteos, who doesn't need any help really. Santorin will get some assistance, perhaps no. FlyQuest deciding that 2v2 would rather get to lane sooner, so both junglers will start leashless and on opposite sides of the rift.
All right, Santorin definitely made really big waves in spring split for FlyQuest, getting a lot of good early games for them. And now on Lee Sin starting red side, see if he can get kind of up to the top side there. Viper on the Kennen going to try and bully Dhokla, abuse the range matchup early on. Poppy's really difficult to do that against, by the way, though. That's why this is one of the consistently picked tanks. Poppy with the Doran shield has so much sustain. You can see there, you go for your autos, get your shield, and you can walk up and get some minion damage here during the window where he has the shield. Also, it makes it easier for Poppy to proc the grasp than most tanks, because when your passive comes up, your auto attack becomes ranged, and he can go try and proc that in a little short exchange.
Viper getting things pushed in, ahead of course on CS, but big stack there for Dhokla to take out, and I don't think it made it to the turrets, so just fine there for Poppy early on. Might even be ahead, actually, depending on how many more he has to get. And back down the bot side, Lux support certainly been picking up steam. Seen a lot of Guardian today, actually, but JayJ is sticking with the Aftershock that I saw more when I first learned about this.
Yeah, it definitely was one of the... Oh, well, Big's actually moving up with the brush here.
Hook accuracy has been pretty good for Big this weekend. Ooh, nails WildTurtle. Good double binding though for JayJ, and that's going to be disengaged as a nice little trade there onto Arrow.
Yep, shield's coming through. It looks like Arrow's going to be the first one chugging his potion, but he's also the first one calling his jungler as Meteos heads down. Jungler smelling blood in the water here after that exchange. Because the minion wave's pushed up though, Turtle and JayJ giving a lot more respect to Big's positioning inside that brush. And Meteos on the minimap gets sight of Santorin, goes for the invade, gets punished!
Shock Blast is nice. Pobelter immediately going to follow up in the double one, ready to be donated over. It's first blood for Santorin.
Yeah, you mess with the jungler, then you get the mid laner there. Pobelter immediately reacts, comes to defend Santorin at the Raptor camp, and FlyQuest are rewarded.
Not the synergy we've seen from Crown and Meteos. Bit of an oopsie there as Olaf does go down, and Santorin now supreme control of the jungle. He's going to take the right side scuttle crab.
Yep, rule number one of Raptor camp invades, always contest the enemy mid laner. You cannot do that without your mid laner pushing up. Pobelter, as you can see on the screen right there, had all the minions pushing in his favor. Jayce getting those early autos, trying to shove, did have a big wave building up, and he was easily able to come over, goes for the kill, didn't even have to flash for it. Meteos now on the Olaf, set definitely pretty far behind here. No flash for himself, no buffs to help clear.
Yep, he's going to have to go through and take the small camps one by one. Santorin still with the double buffs ready to go. Might be fancying another bit of pressure here in the top half of the map. Going to pop the Scryer's Bloom and start with the Scuttle Crab though. And protect Viper a bit on the left-hand side, who is pushing very aggressively as expected in the matchup.
Yep, Santorin going to secure the extra vision for his top laner and move in on the low mana Olaf. Not much threat left there. Base checking is definitely difficult, though, because his mid laner, once again, not there, has recalled. Deep ward placed by Santorin behind that Raptor camp, though.
Continues to spot him. Scry's Bloom sees Meteos there on the Krug camp, so he popped the sweeper to try and see if there were any wards. Doesn't spot the one that he was looking for. There's also a control ward in the red side brush as well, so a ton of information gained for Santorin after that nice and successful kill as Meteos look for the invade, and even Biggs going for a walk here through the river towards the mid lane.
Yep. Over a little bit of vision, so they have full awareness of his movements. Pobelter not extending past the minion wave. Easily able to avoid that window.
See Turtle and JayJ trying to push in as a result, but Arrow not too worried. Sivir's really good at just hugging the turret and taking down the minions one by one. Certainly a nice early bit of action there for FlyQuest. I was asking, which jungler was going to get an edge. I didn't expect that to be the way in which an edge was gained, but FlyQuest will certainly take it. And I think the nice thing, extending all the pressure that Santorin now has, because Meteos invaded and lost his splashes at Viper, who already wanted to be doing this in the 1v1, has so much freedom now to just play up and aggressive forever and ever.
Yep, that's a really good point there. Not able to punish the Kennen in any way because he got set behind so early. Now Meteos back out to the bottom half of the map, getting some vision down here around the river. See if they can gain control of this pathway. We saw an earlier roam from Big. This time around, it's going to be Meteos. Finds a surviving control ward here. If you really gain control of that pathway, it really opens up not only the Nautilus to roam mid, but also the Twisted Fate to roam bottom. And again, getting early gold onto a Sivir to try and fund that crit multiplying build can definitely go a very long way, since OpTic once again are fielding a fairly standard team fight with front to back. Dhokla here, the front, of course.
And a little low on mana. Neither top laner wants to TP just yet. Viper happy just in his little lane kingdom for now. Santorin tags the Mountain Drake. Over he goes with a control ward straight down in the pit. Looking to take the first dragon away for FlyQuest as well.
Yeah, slips right in. Very easy on Lee Sin. He also drops his control ward after the dragon does the lift-off move, by the way. So you can have more precise placement. One of those annoying things sometimes you see. He also didn't jump in and get knocked back from the lift-off.
Successful dragon take there. FlyQuest dual lane makes sure to push out. Pobelter does the same. And it's first everything right now for Santorin. Looking for first turret as well to complete the trifecta. It's Big and Arrow doing what they can. CS is even at least in bottom. In fact, mid lane is the same. It really is just the top lane that's running into any sort of 1v1 advantage.
Plate advantage going to, of course, the Kennen in the matchup. Tank duty is all about trying to get as many minions as you can at as little health cost as you can. And it is going to come also at the cost of your tower health. Viper pushing up and getting most of the advantage out of those plates.
Oh my goodness, they farmed for so long, he's got a proto belt already. Viper
Maybe.
not going for the gunblade, interestingly. We've seen a lot of that today, but favoring a bit more all-in slash team fight.
Yeah, versus Poppy, don't really need it. So unless you're going to go full Blade of the Rune King, full split push percentage damage versus him, then not really want to go that path. So he's going the other way, fully on the team fight. He's going to be a huge, huge team fight here. Kennen with Proto Belt can position so effectively towards the backside to really threaten the true DPS members. And since he's got such an open lane, you mentioned so much of the vision on OpTic's jungler for most of this game, it has allowed Viper to pretty much push without any answer and earn a lot of money off of the Klepto, off of the extra autos on the turret plates as well.
Expecting maybe the Rift Herald to get a bit of attention here when it does spawn. Viper again having so much control. Oh, Dhokla tried to find the stun there, just missing the angle.
Looking for the corner of the wall. Still gets a good amount of harassment though. And you can see Poppy walks up, super tanky now, has the cowl. So the harassment is going to actually proc a lot of regeneration. It allows you to sustain so much more through the Kennen lane. And even though Kennen is split damage, a lot of the money's been invested early in the Proto Belt here after the Doran's Blade. And with the Doran shield, cloth armor, and the cowl, I think Dhokla's finally hit a pretty smooth cruising.
Crown in mid lane, actually. Bit of the old switcheroo. Depth charge there from Big, looking to get a kill on the OpTic side of the map as Meteos is able to collect it.
Yeah, clobbers him. They're going to get a lot of turret plates themselves. 3 members there after taking down the mid laner. That should at least be 1.
I like the pump fake ulti there from Crown. Goes left, looks like he's roaming bot. No, back to mid lane I go as Big roamed up to ensure that kill could happen.
Yeah, always got to be a little bit wary about following the Twisted Fate too. Let's take another look at it. Pobelter pushed up into the lane after Crown walks down into the river. A couple of little mind games there. He had a roam from his support and jungler on the other side. Twisted Fate is a magician. You know, all about sleight of hand, Pastry.
That's true.
Misdirection.
The Rift Herald, I suspected, is at least getting awarded out by FlyQuest as JJ's roomed up to assist with some of the vision here on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and that play really does go again to highlight this vision that OpTic have invested heavily in the river. This pathway allows you to roam your Nautilus and your Olaf up to create that play in the first place.
And again, for Arrow, who's been left alone quite a lot in this lane, still keeping up very nicely in CS. No first major item done for either AD. So Arrow just continuing to stay consistent while Big is trying to influence the map with the rest of the side. It's simple stuff, but I think for a lot of last split, we couldn't always see OpTic doing the simple things right. Sometimes it felt like they got too cute with their composition. Sometimes it just felt like the execution wasn't there, but it's been a very different look with the same set of players. It's nice to see OpTic finally find something that works for them.
Meanwhile, let's check in on the gold advantage. Big advantage for FlyQuest is Viper. Up almost 10,000 gold right now, exactly on the top side with all of the turret plates, and continues to mine
All
away.
plates.
He might not even need that Rift Herald picked up to be able to take the first tower. Pobelter sees Meteos in the jungle once again by the Raptors and gives him a little kiss.
Remembers last time? It's like, yeah, I liked that. But Meteos just runs away towards his support this time. 4 plates there for Viper. Only 1 more left to get the full value out of the turret. And still 2 minutes left. Again, maybe Herald can be taken for more plates, or the OpTic trying to shut down the rest of the map.
The 3-man Raptor steal here from OpTic. They get the last laugh, invading onto those Raptors. They steal it away. Big roams up for it. Crown's over there as well.
It's a sensible adjustment from OpTic. I like it. You know what? Didn't work out last time. Bring more people. As OpTic certainly have the run of the bottom half of the map and are using a lot of that in the midsection. Big is spending a lot of time together with Meteos and Crown. You know, it was a duo. We were talking a lot about Meteos and Crown before the game. Now it's turned into a trio as FlyQuest will use the top strength to start this Rift Herald.
All right, teleport used as well. This is on OpTic vision, by the way. Dhokla looking for a flank possibly as Big comes over. They're going for it. Teleport used.
Don't have Viper here either to try and really be a good team fight weapon. There's a hook for Big there. In onto Pobelter, who's going to cut up at the pass. Crown roams in with the ulti, and that's enough as Viper straight into the team fight with a big ulti. Lux Laser going to get comboed in. The Rift Herald still up for grabs as well. They'll take down Dhokla. The Rift Herald resets, and FlyQuest do get a counter kill.
Oh my goodness, everyone groups up there, and when Viper arrives, just spams the ultimate, gets it off, and annihilates them. That was after OpTic had such a good pick onto Pobelter. Big threw out the no-look hook over his left shoulder. Take a look at it once more. He's walking to the right there, is able to find the no-look hook onto Pobelter. Crown follows up with the Sivir. You think, all right, they got the huge advantage, but they all group up on the teleport. They're like, Viper's like, great, everybody's arrived here for my ulti. Procs it, doesn't die. He flashed out, by the way, even with the ignite on him, so he didn't die. He turned around the team fight. Now we're trading objectives all over the map. Pastry time, Dragon going over to the side of OpTic. Meanwhile, top side, it is FlyQuest taking down the turret.
Yep, Ocean there for OpTic and top outer there for FlyQuest, who do collect all the firsts here. Turret plating has now fallen, so Viper no longer has extra gold to extract from the turrets, but still with the Rift Herald up. There are more turrets to be taken as Crown teleports back to mid lane this time around. Rod of Ages with 4 stacks on, and that Sheen looks to be a lit main second here, so side laney, much more aggressive. First 2 items here for Twisted Fate. Surprisingly flexible as the champion build.
Yeah, I actually am a huge fan of the Rod of Ages starts for Twisted Fate players. It gives them so much help. It always feels like it's just enough to dissuade a lot of junglers going for the gank, right? Or to allow him to survive when you're in a side lane trying to split push and you just barely get away. It definitely does give you a lot of extra stability. and you don't really need the huge DPS output. Twisted Fate is about the map plays and the burst damage and the burst utility that you bring with the gold card that you have on arrival. Plus, as it charges up, you know, later on through the game, has a lot of value. Very statistically efficient item for itself. 5 stacks so far, a little wide on that hook there from Big, as Santorin's able to walk away.
Still pressure here for OpTic, starting to continue to move people through the midsection. Stun from Dhokla. Nails Santorin. Picks up the chocolate and goes in with a steadfast presence, but rest of the team there to back him up.
Tank damage, never to be underestimated.
I think Santorin's okay as the FlyQuest watching a kind of a roving pack of OpTic. Even Arrow's joined the squad this time around. He's like, you know what? Let's all group up together and try and prevent any side lane situation from happening. Viper sticking down to the bottom half again, trying to take more turret damage down. But still a lot of game left to play here. FlyQuest up, but not by much. Poor Shelly's getting very lonely.
Yeah,
nobody wants to take the objective.
It's pretty much just the extra gold on Viper there for FlyQuest. Other than that, OpTic doing very well, and Crown even slight lead for himself too. Bottom side, Dhokla continues to get harassed, but he's got plenty of health here to finish off the minion wave, push Viper in, keep him occupied, and start up Shelly one more time.
Nobody expecting a much slower game in general. Twisted Fate games tend to get drawn out because you have to play the map so efficiently. And OpTic are doing a good job so far, but again, FlyQuest find a avenue to fight. It is around the Baron pit, although Baron isn't up right now. Ulti though popped by Arrow, trying to get his teammates involved in some sort of scuffle.
Dhokla's looking for a teleport, by the way. Poppy's still in the fountain, looking for a possible teleport behind them. Doesn't see it, so he's going for one in front, and they're just going to force down the objective.
Yep. From looking for the most subtle teleport to the absolutely subtle one, Dhokla TPs into the front line, make sure they can get the objective safely, and there is a Rift Herald picked up for OpTic.
Wow, look how fast Crown got to those minions. Twisted Fate ultimate had been popped, so he just goes right over to the mid lane. Shelly is popped. They're immediately going to use it to try and take down that turret. This will be OpTic's first and really open up the map. You always want to get down the outer turrets as quickly as possible with the Twisted Fate composition so you can actually prey on those people moving between objectives.
Certainly so. As Crown already going to start his life now in the side lane as he moves down towards the bottom half of the map. Red buff there over for Turtle.
Sounds like it could be the title of his memoir after he retires from League. Life in the side lane. By Crown.
How about it? As Viper still here. Although again, Twisted Fate not really interested in any sort of 1v1 duel. Just wants to push the waves and get out. And if no one's there, start hitting the turret. Twisted Fate 101's really easy. Turns out Twisted Fate, every other class is highly advanced. This champion is a lot more difficult than it looks.
It jumps from 101 to 500 level classes.
Yeah. Gonna take that blue buff for himself here though. Continuing the easy stuff here for Crown. But OpTic, solid position, keeping the gold lead about 500. Anytime you're under 1,000 has to feel pretty good. We do have a Drake, potentially, that the teams will be interested in 30 seconds. Ocean always nice, but not a big... I don't want to say it's like a bad Drake, because I think all the Drakes are great. It's just like, people don't get excited. They only get excited for Infernals and Mountains.
Yeah, I mean,
and
so...
Freak, Cloud Drake.
Yeah, I feel like there's timings where different dragons are better also.
Yes.
Like, they're not just universally the same value. Here we go, though. Looks like OpTic are making their move over towards that Ocean Drake, and FlyQuest trying to defend the vision that they've fought so heavily to get here with this control ward by the side brush. Pobelter's on the opposite side, though, trying to join his team.
Potentially with some poke or pick here for FlyQuest is a good way to start things off, but keep track of Viper there on the Kennen, much like the Nico in the last game for Cloud9. Certainly wants to be finding as many good engages and flanks as he can.
All right, trying to bait one more time. Control ward down, and they finally start it up. How quickly can they burn it down, though? Because OpTic are running straight down mid lane with the Twisted Fate ultimate. They see everyone on Dragon. There's no minions, actually, under the Sivir there for them to push onto the turret. So all they get is the minion wave and the top wave crashing into that turret.
FlyQuest already cut them off. Nice spell shield there from Arrow to stop the accelerated shock blast, and blue buff will at least be taken away, so OpTic gets something here on the left-hand side of the map. Dhokla also shoving in the top lane. The Crown is back down to his side lane once again. Went mid with his ulti to try and prevent this from happening, but as soon as he leaves, tower takes a little too much damage, although Arrow and Meteos here to try and prevent the push from being completed.
Yeah, tower heavily weakened, but FlyQuest would have had to protect their minions further. There were only 2 shots there, and they didn't want to tank the tower longer in order to keep the backdoor bonus off. So gonna back off after that, and in the end, Dhokla will be the one with the tower secure.
OpTic actually get themselves ahead again, using that side lane power after opening up the mid. Very common in Twisted Fate compositions, and Dhokla, he may have changed the champions he is playing, at least recently, but he has never lost his love for split push.
Still got to take the side turret. Crown gonna find the recall cancel here.
Level 14.
Yeah, Twisted Fate, because you get so much mobility, getting back out into experience range generally does have that advantage, but a 2-level lead,
Yeah, that's absurd.
That's definitely larger than usual. Let me see. I'm going to check on Pobelter, see how exactly far he's behind, because sometimes you'll get Crown just hitting 14, but it's almost a full 2 levels.
I mean, you know, we talked about him, you know, living a new life in the side lane perhaps. I think he's deciding that maybe, you know, it's a good place to retire to, because he's clearly been farming up a storm 20 minutes through this game. There's Crown, they're going to get a look there with Destiny, but no aggressive gate again. More than fine to just use the ultimate for the information it provides you.
Yeah, I mean, he's been using that ultimate to just farm up these minions like a madman. Look at the difference there. You saw the difference in gold, but even just the minions here for Crown just powering through. And this is on a team where they have a Sivir, where Sivir in mid lane here, Arrow's trying to farm up that lane, but Crown trying to scrounge up multiple ones at the same time, and he is able to do that. Off to the Lich Bane, now 10 stacks into the Rod of Ages. It is at full efficiency with an extra large rod on top of that. When that gets turned into a death cap, talk about DPS from this Twisted Fate. That is going to be big Lich Bane procs.
Again, OpTic continuing to stick the trio together, play 1-3-1 really nicely so far through this game. FlyQuest going to look to try and find a grouping situation, often around a major objective is a good place to start, and Baron is available for these teams to start if they want to, but OpTic have done such a good job, again, playing this composition that they clearly are very comfortable with. No other team is playing Twisted Fate in the LCS right now, but OpTic are making it look good when they pull it out.
Yeah, I think Crown split pushing on most champions has looked really good for them, and Twisted Fate no exception. Definitely the most powerful in this game currently, as everybody else starts to try and catch up. Viper and Pobelter now both hitting level 13. But Crown still ahead of them, outpaces. As soon as they start to catch up, boom, level 15. He's quickly approaching the super low cooldown ultimate at 16 too, in which case, you know, especially with these outer turrets down, it just feels like OpTic get to play the entire map, and FlyQuest only get you know, like 75% of it.
And again, this turret being up, you can see how valuable OpTic know it to be. Thought it was Dhokla, it's Arrow, don't worry about it. ADTP is always a fun one, but OpTic using their teleport, knowing that they probably won't need it for Arrow, and just wanting to keep the turret up for as long as possible. It is so frustrating as FlyQuest to not have access through the mid lane, and for this kind of stuff to happen, because now Pobelter find himself too far forward, going to try and fight his way out, but Crown going to collect it. It's Meteos that grabs the last hit, and it's just so easy.
Yeah, Crown says, get out of my side lane, and they're going to have Meteos down there, so that means FlyQuest start up the Baron. They saw the jungler bottom. They know Crown is there, but Crown has teleport. So all they can really get out of this Baron attempt would be a teleport. They don't even get that. OpTic chase them off, and Crown still split pushing. This is mid and bottom. Gonna be destroyed with pure macro from OpTic. Twisted Fate earns them objective on top of the kill.
They're at 1 point behind, or even in turrets, and now they're up by 4 as they take 2 tier 2s in the bottom half of the map. FlyQuest, you have to find some sort of team fight. Cannot let Twisted Fate pull you apart.
OpTic may be the best LCS team at playing the full map. They committed to this style early on. They have been drafting for it, and it is really paying dividends for them. Now with another dragon spawning here, even though the mountain doesn't usually draw fireworks like you're talking about for the Infernal Drake, it provides more objective pressure, and on a drawn-out map like that, it's critical. So a Mountain Drake for OpTic here would be huge to even them up with FlyQuest and give him also the added true damage that they're looking for.
Nice new hat for Crown as well. Death cap now done.
That's what we were looking for. big 3-item spike. Pobelter's only on 2 items, and he's on a Jayce. Jayce is going to fall off super heavily, plus he's behind, so Crown is just so incredibly massive in this game now. Level 16, he's 3 levels up on him, and they start Baron again. OpTic are here, though.
Viper's not. He can TP, but FlyQuest have to be careful. There's Viper. This is the play they need to make. Crown, though, he spotted the TP. He's running straight forward, but now they're going to turn the fight back around. Crown, continuing to keep him out of there, is going to actually go down and start up the Kennen so they can win the rest of the fight. Dhokla that takes that WildTurtle. The hook on Pobelter almost gets him, but Meteos will flash in to make sure the kill happens as Viper finally able to get access to the team fight, but he can't even kill Meteos. Into Stacy goes straight into the hook as Santorin can't collect him either. OpTic absolutely smashed that fight as the long-range gold card finds Santorin. Crown looking to pick up even more over the wall for Santorin. He will live, but OpTic, such a well-played fight.
Yep, and Meteos healed right back up, so he's going to be able to start up the Baron. This should be an OpTic objective here. Let's see, Lux ultimate coming off cooldown shortly, but I don't think it's short enough. Maybe there's a Hail Mary here for FlyQuest.
Not that much damage from the support Lux, but it might be enough at rank 1. Nope, not even close. Not going to fire. It wasn't up. It was about a second away.
Close.
As OpTic get the Baron.
Yeah, not going to be able to get it. There was a health there that would be executable, like 175, I think I saw at some point. Regardless, though, cooldown's not there. Dhokla just charged right in there. They pop the Sivir ultimate, and then frontline just charges down WildTurtle. Dhokla flashes for it, bonks him with the hammer, and gets the kill. Now, they did get the kill over the wall there with JayJ, but Santorin and JayJ already on the backside. Viper's 4-person Kennen ultimate doesn't find anything. It was maybe 12 HP away from getting Meteos there. So close, and yet so far. Meteos and the rest of OpTic now charging through with Baron. And what's better for a split push team
exactly
time than a Baron?
You thought it was frustrating before. Don't you worry. It's even more exciting for FlyQuest to try and defend this siege. Already 6,000 gold down, eliminating any early advantage that FlyQuest had. And Crown looking to guide the minions in bottom lane towards that inhibitor turret. Denied there by Dhokla, stopping Santorin from hopping in with a resonating strike. And Crown's already there to the bot lane, and people must go to answer him. In fact, all of FlyQuest show their faces down here briefly.
Yep, level 17, triple item power spike. It's got a stopwatch as well. Ooh, maybe we get to see one of those 500 level classes, the Messiah class.
It's an old one, but a good one.
It's a very old one. A lot of people won't know Messiah, but you basically teleport in on Twisted Fate, try and be the initiation, and immediately get your Zhonya's off. Not going to be the case here. It doesn't actually pull the trigger, and the Baron buff is going to be enough to just whittle down that inhibitor regardless.
Still looking for that turret here. Inhibitor in mid lane is going to melt, and they're not even the strongest pushers on the OpTic side. I think that blue card did way too much damage, and the Baron Nut minion's going to collect most of the remaining health. Crown, though, with a gold card, something you see from a lot of good Twisted Fates is in sieges, they'll just pull a gold card and threaten you, so you can't go in, and when it's about to run out, just hit the turret. Just like that. That's 2 inhibitor turrets down for OpTic. And 2 inhibs as well. FlyQuest running out of time, running out of angles to try and find for these team fights. OpTic playing such a clinical game. Up about 8,000 gold as they look for Crown to reset once again and buy some silly item.
Yeah, pace your time. We're living in a world where OpTic will be the #1 team in the LCS, the only undefeated team if they take down FlyQuest here. And they're making it look really easy too. It's the control that they're doing this with. Yes, their schedule for the first week was definitely one of the lighter ones, but taking down FlyQuest here off the back of FlyQuest's victory is a big statement. This is a team that has really come together. People were worried about how, oh, Crown coming over, how is he actually going to mess with the team? You know, people bouncing Meteos around teams, when is it actually going to fit? Well, it fits right here. OpTic have decided on their style, and it is map wide.
You can only say, oh, they had easy opponents for so long, because if they keep winning, it doesn't really matter. If they can beat everyone through the first round robin,
yeah, if
really not
every
much
opponent
to say.
is easy.
Exactly. Then, oh, they're just the best team. And 4-0 looking pretty sweet here for OpTic if they can finish off this game. FlyQuest have ways back into it. We saw how good their team fighting was yesterday. If Viper can find similar moments on the cannon, it is possible, but it is very difficult with the way OpTic are playing.
Yep, Dhokla gonna knock him right out of range, Poppy ultimate there, and they're gonna force down the last remaining inhibitor. Once you get all three, the super minions just don't stop coming.
Yep, we already had hard mode, you know, with the Baron there from the split push team. With all inhibs down, it's whatever level is above that. Mega mode, Omega mode.
EpicLOL mode.
I mean, feels pretty easy to play League of Legends. When you have a Baron buff and 3 inhibs down, and Crown's even just running interference. He's going to start blue cutting the Nexus turrets if he can get close enough. Inhibitor 3 falls, and OpTic just closing in for the kill. FlyQuest, if you want to make a last stand, you got to make it quick. But OpTic are just honestly not giving them opportunities. It's one thing to say do something, it's another to have something to do when your opponent is just starving you of every possible resource.
Nice spell shield there from Arrow. Small chunk, but there it is.
Oh, what a Zodius from Crown! Flashes out of the way, Viper finds an ulti, but that's going to be all she wrote on this one. OpTic just play it perfect from minute 1 to minute 31. They're going to clean out the Nexus and they'll finish week 2 as the LCS's only undefeated team.
And they're still going. Dhokla now trying to get some damage. There's no way you get a kill on a champion before the Nexus.